Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Jason, the Overall Gamer here, and welcome to another retro game review. And this week we are looking at Adventure Island for the NES. I got a chance to play this one for the first time about a couple months ago, and I have some thoughts about it. Let's get into it. Adventure Island was one of those games when I was younger just didn't appeal to me for whatever reason. But I decided to pick it up about a couple months ago and play through it, and it was kind of surprising. It was released in 1988, and it's an action platformer that puts you in the role of Master Higgins, a rather unique character who's on a quest to rescue his girlfriend Tina, I guess? I don't know. She's been kidnapped by a mysterious Dark Lord. There's not a whole bunch here, you know, it's your typical NES stuff. And you really don't have anything except your reflexes and a tomahawk that you get sporadically throughout the game. There's also a skateboard, which we'll get into. I tell you, when I first started Adventure Island, I was not ready for how difficult this game ramped up. You run into all kinds of hazards like snakes and falling rocks, boulders, you name it. You also have to keep Master Higgins fed, otherwise the dude will run out of energy and you'll just die halfway through the level, which got kind of annoying, to be honest. And it happened way more often than I would have liked. The gameplay itself is pretty straightforward. You run, you can jump, you attack with your tomahawk or a fireball that you can get. Controls are super tight and responsive, which is a super plus in a game as challenging as this one. You jump across gaps, which sometimes it looks like you can barely get across, but surprisingly you do. And that skateboard power-up, which you would think is helpful, more times than not just absolutely drove me bonkers. I don't think there was one time where I stayed on that skateboard for more than like a couple seconds before I crashed into something and lost it. The only plus side to it was that it was kind of like having an extra life because you lost a skateboard but didn't lose your life if you did run into an enemy. So the skateboard is kind of a blessing and a curse. The level design in Adventure Island keeps you on your toes. Each level is crafted with a range of enemies and environmental hazards, requiring a lot of trial and error. And believe me, it does not get easier as you progress. One of the things you'll notice is how each level feels similar, but with very little variations on the same enemies and obstacles. I will say, because of this, the game did start to feel a little bit repetitive at times, but didn't really take away from the overall experience. When I first started playing Adventure Island, I wasn't expecting a game as difficult as this. I was expecting a much more relaxing experience, but this game is punishingly difficult at times. But it's that kind of NES difficulty that just makes you keep coming back for more. The trial and error of this game is really what kept me engaged pretty much my whole way through. Getting into the graphics, they didn't do anything groundbreaking, but they were pretty solid. You felt like you were on an island the entire time. The trees were great, the colors were vibrant, which was nice, but overall it was your typical NES palette and didn't really wow me in the graphic department. The music in Adventure Island is actually pretty solid. It's upbeat and catchy. It's the kind of music that sticks in your head even after you're done playing. However, I will say, similar to the level design, it does start to get a little repetitive. So after spending a lot of time with Adventure Island, my final thoughts are there's no question that this game is super fun, especially for old school fans of platformers. It's challenging, the controls feel super responsive, exactly where you need them to be, and there's a lot of satisfaction in overcoming its super tough levels. But on the flip side, it's definitely a repetitive game with very similar obstacles and enemies cropping up throughout the entire game. Definitely a title that demands patience and precision. If you're up for that challenge, that's where this game shines, and it can be an absolute blast. If you're looking for more variety in enemies or even the landscape, you might not be so into this. Adventure Island for me, if you're an old school platform gamer like myself, definitely give this one a try and it should be in your library. If you get overly frustrated with NES difficult games, then yeah, this one is going to be just that. But me, I thought Adventure Island was an absolutely great experience. I'm super happy I had the chance to play this one all the way through for the first time, but I don't know that I'll get into playing it again. So if you're up for a challenge, definitely give Adventure Island a playthrough. Let me know in the comments what your experience with Adventure Island was, and if you like what we're doing here, please consider liking, subscribing, all that kind of fun YouTube stuff, and stay tuned for more retro reviews, homebrew information, all that kind of fun stuff here on the Overwhelmed Gamer. Till next time, late.